Hello guys, I'm not too sure. Says that there's an issue today, apparently. Says there's an issue at the moment, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you guys can actually hear me at this point, so just drop your comments in the chat just to make sure that we are up and running. We might not be for some reason. I've used the same settings as I usually do, but for some reason something is not working. So if you're in the chat, just let me know if everything is all good and working. I don't actually know if it's all good and working. I can see your comments coming through, so chat is obviously working. It's just I don't know if yeah. So if you are in the chat or you are watching, please let me know if you can one hear me and two the quality is good before we get going. That would be ideal. I've gone a little bit early. All good. Yeah, I've gone slightly early as per usual. I'm just going to share that I'm actually live, and then we'll probably go into like some questions and stuff like that. So do not ask me what I'm doing yet because I don't actually know. Yeah, so it seems that so I haven't put gain on the mic this week, so sound could be a little bit quiet, but I'm hoping it isn't. There was a buzzing, and I found that the gain was creating the buzz, which you guys kindly told me about last week. So joining it's UCL Fantasy Matchday 10 deadline stream. So I will be live for, well, it'll be under 2 hours because I need time to actually get back and watch the football because I'm not at home at the moment. So yeah, welcome to the stream. And yeah, get all your questions in. We'll go through the questions. We'll go through the transfers that I'm going to make this week. We'll talk about captaincy. We'll talk about. I've got loads of extras as well. I've got like clean sheet odds, attack and return odds, and stuff like that. That we'll briefly look at. We won't go into too much detail. If you are in the chat, if you are watching, please hit like. Please hit that subscribe button. I am hoping to hit 1k subs actually for the end of the season. You guys who are regular watchers probably are sick of hearing me say that, but yeah, I can't actually see the screen at the moment. I can't see my team at the moment. I can only see a screen. Okay, now I can actually see my team. Let's have a look at some comments. So who's the best captain for today? Alvarez, DeMarco, Bastny. There's a lot of options that you've given me there. That's quite a lot to pick between. We will look at that at some point today. I think there's quite a lot of good captaincy options. All good. Oh, it's all okay. Cheers, Velin Nakov. So it sounds like the quality of the stream is pretty good, which is what we want, isn't it? Really, we don't want some of the disasters that we have had in the past. DeMarco. I think DeMarco is a really, really good option this week. I would say I'm not going to say he's essential, but I think of all the defenders that are playing, he's the best. I would probably go as far as saying DeMarco ahead of Grimaldo, because of just how amazing he has actually been. Who to sell? The others all gone. For who? Ooh, Vinny, Kvara, and Vitinha. So I think all three are good options this week. I don't think you need to get rid of Vinny, Kvara, or Vitinha there. Yildiz, I think, is unlikely to play, and if he does play, it's not going to be good in terms of minutes. Gordon, we'll go through the predicted lineup soon. Is Vinny worth a -4? I don't think he is, unless you're captaining him. If you are captaining him, probably yes. Morton as replacement, Arturo should be Alvarez, but have Lookman already. I don't think that massively matters. Again, we're going to go through so much today, including the chat that I had with a Club Brugge fan. So I was talking to a Club Brugge fan about how he thinks the game will go and stuff like that. And they are missing a couple of key players this week. Dembele to Alvarez for -4. Yeah, if your player's not going to play, then go for a -4. Yeah, I don't think I'd take a hit for Vinny though. Dembele to Osman or Alvarez or Ho. I think Alvarez is probably. I think Alvarez is probably one of the best striker options this week. Better than Osman. Better than the Inter forwards. I'll go through the Inter forwards as well. Yeah, I'm not keen on Yildiz or McKennie this week. I think we all know that McKennie is going to play. Hi, mate. How are you? FPL Sem is now in the mix. You won AFCON, right? Pretty sure you won AFCON. You're the guy that won AFCON Fantasy. Just let me know. I'm pretty sure you are, because it could be just a different account, but I'm pretty sure you did win AFCON. What else we got? Though, on Thiago to Burn. I do like Burn as an option this week. Likely to play... Very likely to play Burn this week. -4. No, I don't even know if Doué is going to start, to be fair. I know Doué started the last PSG match. I think Lookman could do as much as Doué. I think they're both fairly decent differentials this week. Best Tiao replacements. I think if I had to rank, yeah, we're going to go through the predicted lineup for Newcastle shortly. We are going to keep an eye out for obviously like other leaks and stuff like that. We'll obviously have to keep a lookout for that because, I mean, let's be honest, Newcastle could field anyone, right? I'm not even convinced that Nick Pope will play, especially due to. Should we take a look at the Newcastle predicted lineup? So the Newcastle predicted lineup. Let's have a look at this. Where are we at the moment? So we need to share this. So this is the Newcastle predicted lineup. This predicted lineup was provided by Neil, the editor of Fantasy Football Scout. You will also find this lineup over there, and a lot of other great fantasy football UCL fantasy articles over there. So yeah, just go over there and check them out. So I will reel off some notes that he gave me about the Newcastle predicted lineup actually as well. So let's just take a look at the notes that he sent me. So in terms of the Newcastle predicted lineup, we will go through this a couple of times on the stream. We'll go through the notes, so just in case you miss or you're just joining or you want to come back later, that's absolutely fine. But so this is the lineup that Neil, again, Fantasy Football Scout editor, very accurate lineup predictor, like extremely accurate. But that obviously, he has thrown some doubt into the mix as well, which is rightly so, because again, we don't know who's going to start. So the predicted lineup. So Botman and Wissa were in training, so it's worth actually knowing that to start with, because not a lot of people do know that. A lot of people were asking about Wissa and Botman. So he did mention Murphy as a makeshift right back. So we're going to have two Murphys by the looks of it. We're going to have a Jacob Murphy and a Murphy at centre back by the looks of it. Botman and Wissa have been out for a short period, so shouldn't be lacking in match fitness. Neither is a massive risk either. Botman has been out with niggles, Wissa with a dead leg. Not muscle injury issues though, like a hamstring that could suffer a recurrence. It could be Trippier and Hall over Murphy. So he is suggesting that we could see. Hall play, Trippier play. He's not really kind of nailed down there. Joelinton isn't really a 6, but doesn't matter in this game. He might go Ramsey, Joelinton as 2, and Waltermaid as a 10. So there they are, basically the notes. I did also ask him, because I know a lot of people will be interested in this. I then asked him. What about the thoughts on Gordon? He said if he was playing on a Wednesday, it'd be an easy sell. But as you said, you've got the option of subbing him on the Tuesday. So Gordon does play on the Tuesday, which is something obviously good. It's really good. So yeah, I mean, he could come on. Gordon could well come on. Let's just have a look at chat quickly because I haven't really looked at it for a bit. Tiao to DeMarco already owning Bastoni or Tiao. Do you know what? I don't think we massively need to cover the Newcastle defence this week. I would have been slightly concerned that we don't have enough Newcastle coverage, but that was the worst Karabakh have played. That was definitely the worst. Are we going to see a better Karabakh this time around? Probably. Are we going to see a worse Newcastle? Probably, because they are going to rotate players, right? I don't know how far they'll go in terms of rotation. You know, we don't really know that. But what we do know is that they're probably going to rotate, and which then obviously weakens them. So again, you know, I don't necessarily think I do think Barnes is a good transfer in this week. I like Barnes. The only problem with Barnes is he's obviously not going to be on pans if Walter is playing or Gordon. So you have to be really careful with that move there, Gordon to Barnes. I'm slightly concerned about selling Gordon. I still am. I've got like major anxiety about selling Gordon, like massive. Because would anyone be really surprised if Gordon started? No, I don't think so. So yeah, look, everyone's a punt. I'm going to talk about captaincy shortly. So that is where we're at, I'm afraid, with the Newcastle lineup. We are, you know, it could be anything. We can see Burn there. You know, we're likely going to see Burn, whether that be left back or centre back. Joe Linton is probably going to start. Osula maybe starts as well. So in terms of Newcastle, it's pretty tough. I'm just looking at my team at the moment. You probably can't see my team. There, you can see my team now. So you can see the position that I'm personally in at the moment. Don't worry about don't kind of assume that I'm going to go with Grimaldo captain. He's just there. It was originally on Gordon. So I've just popped it on Grimaldo now. I'm not saying that he is the best option quite yet, but I do really like Grimaldo as captain this week. I'm not gonna lie, I've not give it too much thought. I think that few people could do. What has Grimaldo done recently? I feel like his output has been very, very good. I feel like his output's been really good lately. Obviously not as good as DeMarco. DeMarco is like different gravy, isn't he? We know what Grimaldo is capable of, though. You know, a lot of us would have had Grimaldo for that last Champions League match. He got an assist, he got a clean sheet, so you know it was a fairly decent haul. Some actually captained him. I mean, he could have been more than 100% EO actually last week. I don't know. He probably wasn't, but it depends what rank you're at, I suppose. But I mean, in terms of his Champions League output for Grimaldo, he has in his 9 matches he's scored 4 and assisted twice. So that's 6. That's without clean sheets, by the way. So he's got 6 attacking returns in 9 matches. That's without the clean sheet. So in terms of the clean sheets, so 6. There'd be 6 returns in 9, and then I don't think Leverkusen have kept like loads of clean sheets, so it would be 4 clean sheets. So basically 10 returns in 9 matches for Grimaldo. Now that is obviously good. That is really good. I'm not saying it isn't, but I worry about his. So if he doesn't get keep a clean sheet, which is like it is likely, you know, there's a strong possibility that he doesn't keep a clean sheet. So yeah, I do need to have a think about captaincy. We'll come back to captaincy soon. Obviously, we've got loads of questions and loads of stuff to obviously discuss. But I think this is where I am at the moment. This is my team at the moment. You can see that again. My biggest issue is Tiao, isn't it? he's not going to start. That's the problem. So I do need a replacement for him. I think so just going on to the best replacements, I would probably put the best TR replacements in order of, assuming that everyone owns the Mendezes and the Hakimis and stuff like that. Because I do think DeMarco is probably the standout replacement this week. Now, hopefully, you've got the money to do that because I mean, Thiago is 4.8 million. I think DeMarco is 5.5 million. I think he's 5.5 million. So it's not a major gap to get there, but so I would prioritize DeMarco in terms of DeMarco's form. Oh, please like and subscribe if you are enjoying the stream, or you do usually enjoy these streams. If you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, that would be brilliant. It really does support the channel and algorithm and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it takes 2 seconds. Like and subscribe. I was just looking for DeMarco's form actually. I know some of you are aware of his form, some of you might not be, but you know, he's been fantastic. He really has, and not just fantastic, like better than most attackers. Like his form is pretty ridiculous. Like in terms of his attacking form. Okay, so taking away his unlawful, arguably illegal benching against Bodo Glimt. He 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So 6 matches. So 6 matches around that Bodo Glimt game in which obviously he didn't play. 2, 6, 2. So in those 6 matches for Inter, DeMarco finished on 6. Wait, that once. Yeah, that is unbelievable. 8 assists. I've just got smacked there. So 8 assists and 2 goals in his last 6 matches. That's like premium attack. That's like Mbappe numbers, isn't it? It's honestly unbelievable how he's doing this at the moment. So yeah, I do think that we do need to prioritize DeMarco this week. I would go as far as saying he's probably the best. Oshler versus Barnes versus Grassi versus Vinicius. That's a lot of verses. I would always prioritize the home fixture. So I think that Vinny Jr. is probably one of the most essential players this week, I would say. What if Gordon starts to chase the UCL? He could. He could well play. So there would be no surprise at all if Gordon does start this. Let's be honest. I personally wouldn't be surprised because it's the Champions League. He's been doing really well in the Champions League. I don't think he's missed an actual game in the Champions League. I'm not too sure if you can see this. You might not be able to. He played 23 minutes against PSG. I think that was that due to injury? I think that was due to injury, wasn't it? I think he started in most other matches. Let me just have a quick look. So I don't know if you can't really see that. It's not very good, is it? But I think he's played most matches. We don't yet know if Gordon and Pope are benched yet. That is it's just a predicted lineup. Rotation is predicted, so we don't yet know basically who's going to be benched. What I will highlight though is the fact that Gordon didn't train, but I think he was just protecting them. It could be him not, you never know. Gordon may have asked to play this, so Eddie Howe might have thought, right, we're not going to let him train. We'll let him play the game, but training and the game and then another game on the weekend could be too much. Yes, of course, it makes sense to rotate him. It makes sense to rest him. But is this a game that, we saw how desperate Gordon was. We saw how desperate Gordon was to take that penalty off. Was it Walter-Maida? I think there was an argument between him and Trippier, right? There was quite a big argument between him and Trippier about whether who is going to take that penalty that Gordon got to score his fourth goal. I think it was his fourth goal. Yeah, I don't think you should sell Grimaldo, Serge, and I think that he's yeah, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would definitely keep Gordon. I would definitely keep Grimaldo. If you, I mean, that is very frustrating if your only way to DiMarco is to sell Grimaldo. They're both very good options. I think DiMarco is a better option this week than Grimaldo, but only just. Grimaldo could easily haul and DiMarco not return. Is today Anthony Gordon's birthday? is today Anthony Gordon's birthday? Surely it's not Anthony Gordon's birthday today. I need to know this. I need to know if it's his birthday today and he's not playing Champions League football. Let me just confirm whether it's Gordon's birthday today. How do you confirm whether it's someone's birthday? Well, I could just probably look. It is. It's Anthony Gordon's birthday today. That is the timing of that. Let me just tweet that. Because I need to post that. You can't not post all this drama around whether a player was going to start or not, and it's his actual birthday today. We need to share this. That is interesting, to say the least, isn't it? That is. I can't believe that. I know it's stupid. It's so silly, isn't it? It's so silly that we're or me. I say we, but it's so silly that we're taking into account whether it's his birthday or not if he's going to start. It's ridiculous, but here we are. This is fantasy football. Fantasy football is ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous, but it's all ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy that it's his birthday today. If you've already got DiMarco, then I think the second best replacement for Thiaw is probably Dan Burn. I would put it in that order. I would probably say DiMarco, then Dan Burn. Like in that order, probably. I don't mind Hanko. I don't mind him. I don't think he's a terrible option at all. But I do think Club Brugge are. No one works on their birthday. Well, it depends if they love their job or not, doesn't it? So, does Gordon love being a professional footballer playing in the Champions League? That's what you got to ask yourself. But then, obviously, it's not his decision, is it? It's not his decision whether he plays or not. We can't sit here and say, Gordon is. It's his birthday, so he's definitely, he's gonna start, because we just don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. He definitely scores to celebrate the birthday. Spot on. Yeah. Which two to sell? Garassi, Osimhen, or Mendes? I don't really like Thuram. I honestly don't. I honestly don't like this. I honestly don't like the Inter attackers this week. I don't really like the Inter strikers at all. Will they probably return? Will all three of them return? Probably, but will they all haul is a different matter because, I mean, firstly we have to guess who is going to start Inter, right? So let's take a look at the last game. I'll tell you what. Let's firstly take a look at who started the last three. I think that's a better kind of. So into Juventus, it was Lautaro and Thuram. Bodo in Inter, it was Lautaro and Esposito. Lecce in Inter, it was Esposito and Thuram. So, I mean, Bono. Who the hell's Bono? Lewis. It's Bonnie. Bonnie is the third striker, right? So he's been getting it bits and bobs in terms of minutes the past few matches. Not doing much. Bonnie, I will say that. I think he's still only young. He's still only 22, but he doesn't really score that much. He scored a couple in the last 10 matches and so on. So I think you'd imagine it would be Thuram and Esposito, but how long would it be until one of them come off? You'd have to predict which one came off, and it's just very messy. It's super messy. It's very hot again. It's really tough to predict. I don't really like the Inter strikers. I'm not going to lie this week. I mean, that is a spoiler. I won't be buying an Inter striker this week. I haven't got the energy or the patience to. Who should I buy for Lautaro? There's a few decent strikers there that you can get. I think it's Garassi. I think Garassi is less than 9 million. The best Dembele replacement if you already have. To be quite honest, I really like the front three of Garassi, Mbappe, and Alvarez. I know it's the front three that I have currently, but I really do like that front three. So in terms of the fixtures, they are the fixtures. In terms of strikers, Alvarez is definitely. I also really like Patrick Schick. I think a lot of us could potentially struggle for Tuesday players, right? Because if you look at Wednesday, everyone's got, 3 or 4 PSG. Everyone's got Vinny. Someone's got a Juventus player. Someone's got probably a couple of them. Whereas with Atleti, it's only, a lot of people have only got one of Lookman or Julian Alvarez. A lot of people have got Grimaldo. Not a lot of people went into due to rotation last week. And a lot of people are selling off Newcastle players as well. So, look, I'm not saying we have to prioritise that Tuesday here. But I do think that we probably need a couple more Tuesday players, right? So I like Schick. He's going to be on pans. He's going to start. I don't think Schick actually started the last Bundesliga match. I'm pretty sure he came on for half an hour. And if that is the case, then he looks good for at least 60, 70 minutes this week. And I know we all want 90 minutes out of our strikers, but we're just not going to get that. We're not going to get 90-minute strikers unless you're Mbappe. Garassi comes off a little bit early sometimes. You've got Alvarez who might come off early. I know he played the full 90 last game, but generally he does come off, doesn't he? Shit comes off early. The Inter strikers come off early. There's no way that whoever starts up front for Newcastle isn't probably going to come off early as well. Well, I mean, they could start, but Osimhen, I tell you who shouldn't well saying that he was a doubt before the game. I was going to say Osimhen, but he was a doubt, wasn't he? Mbappe should play the most of the match as well. I really like Schick this week. If I had unlimited transfers, I would probably go for Schick over Garassi, maybe. How come I'm looking down all the time? Yeah, so I've got my phone basically down here, my laptop. So I've got like a couple of different devices basically, on the go at the same time. So this screen basically is just kind of is just like for OBS, and this is my laptop screen, and my phone's down here. So I'm always checking my phone for leaks, group chats. Group chats are low key like one of the best like sources of information, 100%. So yeah, my phone is actually down here. That's why I'm always looking down. Or I look down a lot. I think. Do you know what I actually? For my last stream, I think I was looking at the looking at chat for the whole way through it. Tendency Bonds, Tendency Bonds for Gordon. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Hiya, Jack. You okay, mate? Nice to have you in. A lot of regulars in today, actually. So yeah, really happy to have you, the regulars in. Players you would sell. So in terms of players I would sell, I would probably, let's just go back to my team. We don't want fixtures, do we? It's got team. Yeah, so in terms of players that I would sell, I would probably sell. In my team, I would probably sell Tial. McKennie. I don't like McKennie this week. I prefer Patrick Schick over Thuram because he's got pans, and I know he's probably going to play most of the match. I've not used my transfers yet. Dewey or Barnes? That is a tough one. I think Dewey or Barnes is a tough one for sure. Let me just have a look at that because I'll probably, again, my phone is down here, and this is how I look at like Sofa Score and stuff like that for minutes and stuff. I don't actually use that laptop; that is just for the screen. So in terms of Dewey, so PSG actually rotated quite a lot this week. I'll give you guys something interesting to look at for now. You can have a look at the. We'll have a look at that, and then we will. Alvarez. Ooh, Chico Alvarez is a tough one. I'll probably go with Alvarez though. Let me just on that question actually, because it's a nice kind of route to the chat that I had with a Club Brugge contributor actually. I'll take you through the chat now. If you want to follow him, he might be in the stream. His name is, he's a Club Brugge fan. Really, really good for information. I've had him on, followed him on X now for some years. He provides the predicted line and some stuff, but he does have some really interesting information this week. Not that he never does. He always has interesting information. Because I'm always interested who's going to start. He has predicted Forbes to start this week, which could be an interesting punt. But what he did say, his name is FPL Leo 3 on Twitter, so FPL Leo 3 and the number 3. He sent me his predicted lineup as per, and then he did also say that they haven't got Onyedika this week, which is obviously to many, it doesn't really matter. But when you're considering athletic assets, it matters a lot. Like, it matters so much because. So basically, again, I'm just looking down at my phone to read what he said. So no Onyedika is a big blow this week. Forbes or Diacon starting is a coin toss. So I pressed him for a little bit more information on Onyedika. I asked him about Onyedika. He did say, look, he's been crucial for our build-up, but against Atleti he had license to go forward while Valican played a bit deeper. So you're already getting two pieces. You're already getting two kind of bits of knowledge from that. You're already getting the fact that Onyedika could like to get forward, but you're also seeing that Vanaken played deeper, which is not what you want. You don't want Vanaken playing deeper. So if as a pun, it's not ideal. Stankovic can do a similar job. Obviously, the problem is that we don't have a good alternative for Onyedika on the bench. That is really important information because he basically said that the Atleti attackers could do really, really well. So yeah, he also did mention, though, it's important to mention that he did say that I think we'll go there and park the bus and pray to get lucky. So I think from what he's saying, he's not expecting a good time. Hi Lolly, how are you? Thank you for joining the stream. Yeah, again, if you are in the stream already, if you could please hit that like button. More importantly, though, subscribers. I really want to get to 1K subs. I really, really do. So if you are new to the stream, then please hit that subscribe button. I will be doing a live. I will be hosting a live stream. I'm hoping I'll be hosting a live stream every deadline from now until the end of the season. Sorry, I'm just having a look in a chat. I just saw that. And a source is saying that Alvarez might not start. I don't think that is right. Let's have a look at another predicted lineup. So for those who missed, oh, you're still looking at the predicted lineup. I've gone a bit cold on McCanny, and I'll tell you why. Where is my? I've gone a bit cold on McCanny. The problem is that I need to decide between is who to sell between Gordon and McCanny. Gordon's going to get a price rise this week, isn't he? It'll probably be like 2, probably be like 0.2. Not too sure how much that matters, but Gordon probably get a price rise this week. McCanny actually played as a. So interesting. I've just seen another predicted lineup. Now, I'm not too sure how reliable this is. It's called bullynews.com, BULI news.com. And the predicted lineup is strong. It's Gordon up front, Alanga on the right, Barnes on the left. It's quite strong. I think it's probably too strong. This is another site. This is, again, bullynews.com. They're suggesting that Hall, Trippier, Byrne, Botman, Pope will all play. Willock, Tonali. There's not really any second string players in there for me. Obviously, Barnes will come in. But, yeah, I mean... It's hard to know which predicted lineups to believe. Obviously, you don't believe any predicted lineups, but yeah, I think that so it's a bit of a dodgy one. So yeah, just looking at the news from Leo. So Club Brugge, they could potentially go there to park the bus against Atleti and counter attack. I don't think they want to do what they did last time. They went pretty crazy, didn't they, at home? And then it ended up 3-3. I don't know how capable they are of keeping clean sheets, Club Brugge. I mean, they kept one against Marseille. That was at home. They conceded away to Kairat. It's not ideal. How much XG did they concede to Kairat? It was 0.28. So Kairat were probably lucky to score that goal. Due for McCanny or Gordon. Yeah, I need to decide on this. I can't answer that because I don't know who I'm selling myself. I'm stuck between selling McCanny or Gordon, and we'll go through that decision shortly. It's a process. These live streams are processes. They help me kind of figure out what I'm going to do. Hiya, mate. How are you? What Alvarez? I really like Alvarez this week. I think if you look at Bodo Glimt's games, look, well done for them scoring. They've been excellent in the Champions League and stuff like that, but I do think they got slightly lucky. They scored 3 goals from around 1.1 XG. Very, very lucky in my opinion. They only had 8 shots compared to Inter's 15. Inter are obviously going to be better at home. They obviously are, aren't they? They're not going to concede 2-3 goals in my opinion, which means I'm not quite keen on Ho and Howe as much as I was. Obviously, Bodo Glimt are going to be better at home as well, aren't they? Right? He's been. I mean, I'm not going to lie. He's been excellent. Ho, 2 goals against City, a goal against Atleti, a goal and 2 assists against Inter. But I always think back and think, how sustainable is that form? Is it? is it sustainable? I don't really know. Look, he's a good differential. But I personally wouldn't pick him based on the fact that I am fully backing Inter this week. Look, I don't know if Inter are going to qualify. I'm not saying they will or they won't. But I think we're going to see a much, much, much better performance from them. So, you know, it's one of them, isn't it? It's how do you see the game going? Do you see potentially Inter coming out because they need to win? Do you see them defending well because they're at home and obviously, you know, countering? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let me just see if there's any news here. Esposito or Thuram. Ooh, I think it's a flip of a coin. I wouldn't go for an Inter attacker really. If I had to pick, I would probably say Esposito. It's also Jacob Murphy's birthday as well today with Gordon. Well, perhaps we see Jacob Murphy and Gordon start this week. In fact, Bodo have only failed to score at least 2 goals only once, which was Monaco at home where they finished with 10 and actually 1.66. Yeah. I'm trying to buy into. I'm trying to buy into the Bodo players this week. I really, really am. I really am trying to buy into them this week, but I don't think I can. You know, especially if you're buying DeMarco. And I think you've got to buy DeMarco this week if you can. Obviously, you know he's not, like I said, he's not absolutely essential, but again, I think it's 10 attacking returns in his last 6 matches. It's just mental. Like you just don't get that from defenders, really, do you? You just don't get it. Is Benzabaini going to start? We'll just have a look at the latest predicted lineup that I got. I think he is. That helps. I think he will. Let me just have a look though, because I got a Leverkusen predicted lineup. Not Leverkusen, sorry, Dortmund. Yeah, he's predicted to start Benzabaini. The back 5 predicted to start for Dortmund is Svensson, Emma Can. Can is an interesting one. So many players could take the penalty, couldn't they? Can, Anton, Benzabaini, and Reyerson. When did Benzabaini play in the latest league match? That was interesting because he's predicted him to start at right centre back. Yeah, he played at left centre back last game. Left centre back. Yeah, he's probably going to play left centre back. I don't think that Schlotter is back. I don't think he's back, is he? No, he's out. Schlotterbeck was out. Can was out last match as well. Sull was a doubt. I mean, Sull was only a doubt, so he could come in, but I don't know. Yeah, I think Benzabaini's going to play. Should we have a look at some clean sheet odds for this week? They are the clean sheet odds. You can see that Newcastle are top with 50%, but we do have to take into account. Yeah, DeMarco should start this week. He didn't start last match. He's been starting 2 matches and then missing 1 match. So he started 2 matches. He missed the last match. He played the last match, and so he should start this match. He should actually, his next rest on paper. Let me just check I think it's Genoa at home. Yeah, so basically DeMarco started and got an assist and a clean sheet, by the way, against Lecce last time out away from home. Which should mean he's safe to start. against Bodo Glimt at home. I mean, if you look at the table at the moment, Inter are flying. They're 10 points ahead of Milan. They've got a really nice cushion now. So I think if we're going to see rotation, then we're probably going to see that in the league. Because I don't know who's going to play in attack. I'm assuming that it's going to be Thuram and Esposito, but it could be Bonnie. Could be Bonnie. Who are we getting for Thiago? I haven't decided yet. I'm between, well, obviously DeMarco and Byrne. Would you take a -4 to move from McKennie to Guevara? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think Kvaratskhelia is massively essential. Obviously, you want you're gonna need a PSG attacker this week. Like, you know, they scored 3. They scored 3 away from home last week. I think they obviously started really bad, didn't they? You know, it wasn't a great start from them. Let me just see. So, in the match against Monaco, PSG, they ended up having 5 big chances. They accumulated 3 XG, which is obviously really good. When did the red card come in though? Because that might be... Yeah, so the red card came in around the 48th minute. Let's see how much XG they got in the first half. So in the first half, PSG, mind you, they still racked up 1.6 XG, only 1 big chance though. So their 4 big chances would have come after the red card, wouldn't it? So look, Monaco's not going to be an easy game. It's not, but they concede quite a lot of goals. So I do think they're worth targeting. Let's just see how many goals Monaco conceded in the league phase. Yeah, they conceded close to 2 goals per game in the league phase, Monaco. Gordon plays. Let me just have a quick look on Twitter. I've not looked on Twitter for quite a bit now. In terms of Gordon, because I mean, let's be honest, that's where we're going to see a leak, isn't it? Twitter. If we're going to see a lineup leak or any sort of information at all, it's probably going to be on X or in a group chat or something like that. This is why I'm always on my phone during live streams, because it's not like FPL where you're just kind of waiting for like a little bit of news, you know, of the early kickoff and stuff like that. UCL, oh my God, completely different ball game. Completely different board game. I saw Gordon and he starts. That's the scene. Yeah, I see with Gordon. It depends what rank you're at, right? Because I'm 200th. Surgeon, I know you're doing well as well. If you sell Gordon and he does well, then yeah, you're going to be out of like top 1K, top 500, whatever, wherever you are in terms of rank. You know, and you're quite high up. You know, if he starts and does well, then it's not going to be good, and that's why I've got my reservations about selling him. It's also his birthday, which apparently this is what we've come to as fantasy managers. This is what we've become. These are the things we consider now. Apparently, birthdays. Janty has DM'd me his weekly. Yeah, Janty has DM'd me. Janty, I don't think Janty watches these streams. It's fair enough. He's busy. He's got like over 1 million followers or whatever. But Janty's got Dembele and Martinez and Thiago, which is not ideal, is it? It's not ideal at all. So he's going to have to make a couple of changes there. I would probably suggest a hit to him there. So you're probably going to have to take a hit. Not ideal, really. Are you joking? Lookman's benched. Oh, hang on. Let me see. Wow, that is absolutely massive news if Lookman's benched. Is he actually benched? Yeah, well, I did say he was a minute's risk. If you were on my stream last week, I was unsure. I was very unsure about Lookman's minutes. If you're unsure about someone's minutes, don't buy them. Do not buy them. It's the same with Dan Bailey. Let me just share that. That is absolutely massive news, by the way. It's not the end of the world, though, because the tie is at 3-3 currently, and he will come on. So he could go into extra time if the game's not settled. And if he does come on, then he might get an hour anyway, which is what he probably saying that. Yeah, he'll probably come on half time, get second half 45, get another half an hour. So he could. So Lookman not starting, he might still get over an hour. He might get more. He might actually play more minutes. Lookman might actually play more minutes than what. Anyway, just let me. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly share the Atleti news because that is huge. That no, we didn't expect that. It's not. It's not a massive shock, but it's huge news. Yeah, I'm just showing the lineup on Twitter. I can't. I'm going to keep saying I can't believe Lookman's bench. I can't believe it. It's just so significant, isn't it? It's so important to fantasy managers. It's just so important. It just really is, and it's gonna push a lot of people to sell, but I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, did Josh went early? Josh in the work in the Slack. He said I've done Gordon to Lookman, and he sent that at 4:20 when the lineups went out. I'm just hoping he's not done that early. I'm hoping he hasn't gone early on that. Because that's a real shame if he did. Watch Gordon start now. Imagine. Would I sell Guller? It depends if you've got any fires elsewhere, Wasif. If you've got fires elsewhere, or you've got a TL or something like that, I would definitely look to replace. Sorry, yeah, Mike. You're always there to remind me about the mic. It's because I've took gain off. No leaks, Gordon, play or not. Apparently both my goalkeepers won't start. Is taking a -4 advisable. Not for a goalkeeper, no, because you'd be gaining 2 points probably max. So don't take a hit for a goalkeeper. I definitely wouldn't do it. So yeah, I mean we're coming up to an interesting period now, aren't we? Because we've had the lineups. We now know that Lookman is not starting. So I think a lot of people are going to want Lookman replacements, right? So let's just turn off clean sheet. Let's turn the fixtures back on. So just looking at fixtures in terms of replacements, I'm going to go through a few players that I really, really like. Look, Lookman could start. Lookman could play. So he could come on at 4. He could come on at half time. And then if it goes into extra time, he's going to play all of that as well. So, excuse me. So, whilst he might not start this, he could get, obviously if he goes into extra time, he could end up getting the half an hour extra time. Yeah, I wouldn't count on Gordon not playing. He's going to be massively owned. I will say that. I'll say that again. In terms of Gordon, right? If you sell Gordon, you're, of course it depends what rank you are. He's 22% apparently. Don't look at ownership stats on Champions League Fantasy. It's just like useless because a lot of the 22% will be even casual Newcastle fans who dropped off, and I doubt there's that many, or most of them are, you know, the top, I don't know, top thousands. So his effective ownership could be over 100 this week. I have 4.6, but I am able to buy a defender. What is this? Svensson not playing. Svensson is predicted to play. Dembele, doubtless. Yeah, Dembele needs to go. He's not going to start. Get rid of Dembele, 100%. I'd keep Gordon. So my rank currently is 200. So I'm 200th in the world. So it could be rank suicide to sell Gordon. Look, I'm just being honest. Look, having Gordon and him not starting is not a big problem because he plays on a Tuesday. You're going to need players to swap out on the Wednesday. So Gordon not starting is not the end of the world. He could come on and start. He might even get a 0 pointer, but then you can just take him off and bring him in for someone who is just an easy decision then on the Wednesday, isn't he? Afternoon, get Carter. Nice to see you in the stream. Nice to see you. Always nice to see a familiar face from Twitter. If you could, just got stuck to my mic then. If you could hit subscribe while you're in here, that would be fantastic. Especially subscribe. Yeah, really do appreciate it. We've actually flown. You guys have really pushed me. Pushed me up in terms of subs. Someone's just asked me. Sorry. Okay, so I didn't share the. Sorry, I shared the lineups, but I didn't share the bench. So people asking, is Lookman on the bench, basically? He is on the bench. He is on the bench. Griezmann benched as well. I thought Griezmann would play. I'm not going to lie. I did think Griezmann would play. I'm more surprised that Sorloth played than Griezmann, maybe because Sorloth started the last match, didn't he? Yeah, again, so yeah, like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my Chongzi videos. FPL, if you like the FPL stuff as well. FPL is massively saturated, so it's not a massive concern if you guys don't watch the FPL stuff. Yeah, so Lookman is benched. Yeah, so there is a chance that he just comes on, right? Best Bailey replacement. I would probably say Alvarez. I'd probably sell Kakir. Was if I'd keep Guller. I'd go for Vinny over Oshler and Grassi. I would probably go for Vinny. He's got the home fixture. He's likely to play most of the game. He's in form with Oshler. I don't know if you saw the predicted lineup, and I know people might be getting bored of seeing this now, but I think it's really important that people do see it. That is the predicted lineup for the Newcastle match. Sorloth captain. It's a good shout, that ad. I like it. It's rogue. I like it. Bukum, Highness, thanks for all the content so far. No worries. How do you feel about these moves? Osman to Taram, Unlockment or Yildiz to Barnes. I like Barnes. Really like Barnes this week. Barnes, I would go as far as saying with Barnes, he is my favourite replacement for McKennie. Have I just confirmed that I'm not selling Gordon? I mentally may have just confirmed that. Maybe it's McKennie that's going to go. It's funny, isn't it? Because McKennie is probably going to start, but at wing back. I don't really want a wing back. It's funny, we all bought him, didn't we? Because he was out of position, playing out of position as a striker. And now he's out of position again, but as a wing back. I do like Sorloth as an option this week. Yeah, so Simon, in terms of Newcastle coverage, so I did mention this earlier on the stream that in terms of Newcastle coverage, a lot of people are. So firstly, let's have a look at the Newcastle ownership. So not statistically, I mean on paper. So if we look at the Newcastle ownership, if that happens, if Pope doesn't play, he's popular. Thial's not going to play, he's popular. Hall is, as you can see, might not play. As you can see for the predicted lineup, might not play as well. So a lot of the people who bought Newcastle defenders this week went for Thial or Hall or Pope. Now, yes, some of them did go Burn, but his ownership's not going to be a major concern. And also, if they put that team out, let's be honest, they're probably not going to keep a clean sheet, are they? I mean, there's a good chance they don't, right? And Karabakh aren't going to be terrible again. Yeah, so I just want to say I really appreciate those who have subbed over the past. Quite a big leap actually in terms of subs over the past week. I think we've gained. I say we, but we are basically a UCL family, aren't we? On this channel, it's basically a UCL. I would say it's a UCL channel. Obviously, do the FPL stuff as well, but yeah. So in terms of subs, I think I've gained like over 100 in the past week, which is huge. Which is huge. So yeah, those that have come into the family, the UCL family, really do appreciate it. Lookman is on the bench. Yep. Who made this prediction? Will Dembele be available tomorrow? No, Dembele I think has been ruled out. Let me just double check the Dembele situation, because I did see that Dembele is not. Either he's not he's not travelling. I don't think. Let me just have a quick look. I don't want to give you guys false information. So this was from the Get French Football News, over 200k followers. Dembele and Ruiz out of Champions League return leg. So yeah, so Dembele's out. That's it, he's out. So I'm just reading news on the Newcastle. I've got Dan. Good old Dan. Next to no one thinks that Gordon's going to start. We believe it'll be Oshala. And when he says we, he means the Newcastle guys, the Newcastle community, stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't look fantastic, does it? It's not looking too good on the Gordon front. But then again, Champions League is his birthday. He's going to want to score. He's missed the Champions League this season. This season has basically been the Anthony Gordon season. The specs are top tier choice. Yeah, I don't wear glasses outside of screens usually. It's a Newcastle predicted lineup. No one has a clue. Yeah, no, I totally agree, James. I think that it's something I said earlier on the stream. I think that let me take this Newcastle predicted lineup off, because it could potentially be scaring a lot of people. Predicted lineups are just predicted lineups, right? But I think a lot of us are expecting rotation. That is the point. So maybe not necessarily as far as what you've just seen on the screen there, because that's quite a lot of rotation, isn't it? We've got two Murphys in defence. That is another point, though, isn't it? Just going back to the clean sheet point. If you've got two Murphys in defence, it's not good, is it? It's not ideal for the clean sheet. Not ideal at all, really. Thoughts on Doué? Yeah, so in terms of Doué, I think he's a good option. So let's firstly have a look at the predicted lineup. So you won't see the predicted lineup on screen, but I'm just going to have a look and read it out. So in terms of the predicted lineup for PSG, I think a lot of people are expecting Goncalo Ramos to start up front. So a lot of people are expecting Goncalo Ramos to start up front. They are also expecting Kvaratskhelia to start because he didn't start the last league match. But then it's between like Doué and Barcola, may potentially, unless Doué starts in midfield. Yeah, there's a real chance here that Doué doesn't start. Yeah. Someone's just because I'm basically answering questions on X from X as well while we stream. So, someone also has just asked me about Sorloth's minutes. Now, I will be slightly concerned about Sorloth's minutes going into this. I'm more convinced about Alvarez. Like, look, I think Sorloth is probably a good punt, but a lot of people might be interested on the stream about this as well. I do think he's an okay punt. But I think you've got the same situation with Atleti that you've got with Inter, in that they've got several really good, well, I say really good, several okay strikers, some of them better than others, obviously, but you've still got a few strikers. Look, you've got Griezmann who could play there, you've got Sorloth who could play there, Julian Alvarez as well. So, there's a real chance that Sorloth, he's not going to take Alvarez off early, is he? If you need a goal, you don't take Julian Alvarez off. You take Sorloth off. Barnes or Gordon. If it's a clean slate, I would go with Barnes. Yeah, no, it's tough, isn't it, with fans? It's tough who to believe with fans. Goncalo Ramos over Doué. Well, I mean, look. Yeah, it could, but Doué could also start in midfield, right? We have seen Doué start in midfield, but like attack anyway, but do well anyway. So there's minutes. There's like a category of minutes. If I had to put players in category of minutes, it would be like like players that are only going to get 60 minutes. There are players, Lookman, Sorloth, Doué, Esposito, Thuram. Those sort of players are, and this is something I said on the UEFA Fantasy Pod. I'm not too sure if you guys listen to the UEFA Fantasy Pod or some of you in there, but you want points until the end of the game, don't you? You don't want to get to the 60th minute of the week, of the match day, the match day and a match day. You don't want to get to the 60th minute in matches and start worrying about your players, whether they're going to start or not. In fact, you want players who are going to play 90 minutes, and this is why I've gone for, this is why I went with my original setup. Vitinha, Kvaratskhelia, Alvarez. Those sort of players that will play 90 minutes is why I didn't bring in Lookman. It's why I've not gone. It's why I didn't buy Dembele, because he was obviously dealing with some stuff. It's why I haven't gotten into the striker. So, these, I would put them in punt category. I would put Sorloth, Lookman, Esposito, Thuram, Doué. Those 5. Let me just see if there's any more that I would put in that kind of punt category. That category is, if to say, you might not get 60 minutes out of them. So let's just look at the fixtures. So yeah, it would be Sorloth here. Sorloth, Lookman. Schick is slightly different. I think he might go over 60. I think he might go to like 70, 75, potentially 80. So Schick I would put outside of that 5, because I think he's going to play 10-15. And that 10-15 minutes, actually, by the way, in a Champions League is absolutely massive. Minutes are huge in Champions League. Games are so important in Champions League. Look, they are in FPL, in the Premier League. Games are, they are important and stuff like that. But I think you're more likely to get goals in the Champions League. Well, we've seen that, haven't we? We've seen that. A lot of people have had depressing FPL seasons. You're more likely to get goals from the inform assets in UCL Fantasy. So that extra 10 to 15 minutes is just so crucial, isn't it? So crucial. Why would we not start? Because they've got other options. Yeah, they've got other options. If he does start, I think he might come off early as well. Yep, Alvarez and Sorloth both start, but I think Sorloth could potentially come off the 45th to 60th minute. He's one of those players who come off early. I would keep Lookman in your position, Mac. Wow, if you've got Augusto and Lookman, I would probably keep Lookman there. Because again, he's probably going to come on. I'll probably get rid of Osimhen. I think Lookman's a good option this week, even though he's not starting. He will come on at half time, and make an impact. We mentioned this on the UEFA pod, myself and Dan. Yeah, just keep getting questions about Gordon. You know, it kind of depends on rank. You know, if you're quite high up in terms of rank, then not having Gordon could be problematic if he not only if he started, but if he came on and scored, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. Burn or Regari, I prefer Burn. Did anyone see Burn, by the way? Last match day, he was basically a striker. I prefer Garassi there, because Osimhen might not get the minutes. Just remember Osimhen. So in terms of Osimhen, he missed out last match. I don't think he was in the squad actually. He had knee discomfort, and once a player has got discomfort, similar to Dembele last week, you don't want to own him. You just don't, because you don't know when he's going to come off. Look, I was surprised that Dembele come off at the 20-something minute last week, but I think we knew he was going to come off at some point if he did start quite early. Dembele is out. Yeah, still getting questions on Twitter as well. Someone's just put his is Chevalier out. That is pretty funny. Kvara or Due? I still prefer Kvara. I will always take Kvara over Due due to minutes. Due with Due, right? He's explosive. He is very, very explosive. I mean, look at the Champions League final. You know, he absolutely hauled. I don't think anyone had him, bar a couple of people, but he went absolutely massive, didn't he? He scored 2 against Monaco. He scored 1 against Metz. But before that, we have to remember that he went 10 games without a goal. This is the type of player that Due is, right? He does stuff in batches and then he stops. I think Kvaratskhelia is just like more. He's more consistent. You can rely on him a little bit more. Good replacement for Thiaw and Dembele. Alvarez, Garassi, thoughts on Osimhen. Osimhen is a risk. He's had discomfort. I think he's going to start, but I don't think he's going to play the most. I don't think he's going to get loads and loads of mins. Who would you sell for DeMarco, Trent, Hakimi, Mendes, or Carreras? Probably Carreras, I'd sell. Good replacement for Thiaw. And yeah, so good replacements for Thiaw. I think DeMarco would be my number 1. I then think Burn would be 2. Like I already probably with actually. You can see that I already have Bastoni, so I honestly think, I know a lot of people haven't got like luxury transfers in this week and stuff like that, but I honestly think that a double up in the into defense could be really, really differential. I know a lot of people are going for like proper differentials. They're going for the likes of Doué or Esposito or Sorloth and stuff like that. But I just do love a good double defense. You know, especially when not a lot of people are going to have them. I think next to no one is going to have an Inter defender this week, apart from the ones that buy DeMarco. Because a lot of people didn't own the Inter players last week due to rotation. So, Guirassy or Schick? Yeah, I think Schick, Pans, 70. I honestly think that Schick is going to play similar game time to Guirassy this week, but Schick is more likely to take a pan. No one knows he's going to take the pan between Benzebaini. if Emery can, Benzebaini and Guirassy start. Take your bets on who takes a pan. People will say Benzebaini, but Can's a pan taker. Guirassy has taken a pan before. Well, he's taken a few. Scored a few, missed a few. Any news on Newcastle? I'm not seeing anything. Just that's the big one, isn't it? This week, obviously, apart from Lookman. Hi, mate. How are you? Yeah, really good. I think Walter is a risk. He might not even start. Let's go through some of these. Continue to Doué. I would keep Vitinha. Not sure on Doué's minutes. I also think that Vitinha might still take the next pan. Yeah, I don't like Walter. Yeah, so my transfer plan. So as we get close to the deadline, we will start looking at transfers. Let me just. You're not going to like the screen at the moment. I'm hoping it comes out. It's not really come up good there, has it? I think that's the screen you guys are going to want to look at, isn't it? Now is my transfer plans. So we'll just lock that there. We happy with that screen for the remainder? Did we go through attacking return odds this week as well? They are the attacking return odds percentages for the. We're going to do another half an hour. We'll go until 5:30. We'll go until 5:30, and then I'll leave 15 minutes early to get home to watch the football. So they are the attacking returns. Walter, Dembele. These are the percentages of starting. Ignore Dembele. He is not going. This was made before the news broke that he wouldn't be starting. I really like Schick. Shall I rate the strikers this week? Should I put them in some sort of order? Obviously, Mbappe is top. If you haven't got Mbappe, get Mbappe. I would probably put Alvarez second based on minutes, based on pans. I would then put. I think it's quite close, to be fair, between Schick and Guirassy. We can see Guirassy and Schick on the. No, we can't see Schick or Guirassy on the chances of an attack, which means they are probably not as likely to get an attack on return. Nice. Yeah, in your position, Madeline _ Tudor, Boston, DeMarco, Grimaldo. Yeah, you got a couple of issues there. I think your biggest problem is midfield, isn't it? You've got Gordon, Yildiz, and Lookman, who all unlikely to play. Who's most likely to play? I'd be tempted to sell Yildiz there. Burns or DeMarco. I'd probably go for DeMarco based on the fact that we are going to get a full strength Inter, by the way, this week. Obviously, no Lo Toro, but we are getting a full strength Inter. So, and we're going to get a weakened. Let's just get rid of Thiago there. I think I'm keeping Gordon. I think my biggest decision this week prior to this stream, and then we need to cover captaincy, don't we? So I think I need to think about two things. I need to think about transfers and captaincy now. I like Schick. Hans, he's at home. Probably play similar minutes to Garassi. Playing a weaker side. In fact, yeah, I think I would. In fact, if I had unlimited transfers this week, I would own Schick over Garassi. I would still be scared of Garassi though. Oh, what is Garassi's ownership? Yeah, 19%. I'd say that's probably pretty high though. So that is what I need to consider really. I need to consider who is going. I know Tiao's going. Tiao is defo going. I really like the double into defense this week. I don't think I'm going to be in massive trouble if Newcastle keep a clean sheet and Pope isn't starting. I don't think I will. How about Bodo? Yeah, we discussed Bodo earlier in the stream. I do like Ho, the striker. I think he's a fairly decent differential. In quite good form as well. Open there. It's water, by the way, not vodka. Just water. Any news on Bremer? Okay, yeah, so Bremer. Would I sell Gordon? If you're at a high rank, or we'll get back to you, Thomas, there. If you're at a high rank, don't sell Gordon. If you're chasing rank, or you want to be a bit aggressive, then sell him. Yeah, I don't mind Simeone. He's a decent differential. I don't like McKennie anymore, so he probably needs to go. Yeah, Thomas, your question requires me to have a look at something. So let me just have a look. Let me just go to the Juventus predicted lineup firstly, the one we got from our Juventus guy. Just bear with me a sec. I'm gonna have to reply to Janti. Sal Dembele, Sal. Yeah, Janti has got Dembele, he's got Martinez, and he's got Thiago. Alvarez and Schick, good forward options. Better reply to him. I've not replied to him yet. Yeah, so sorry, I just sniffed really loud down the mic there, didn't I? Let me just have a look at your question on Bremer. We'll have a look at I'll just have a look at the predicted lineup first. The predicted lineup suggests that it is going to be a back four of Kalulu, Kelly, Gatti, and Kostic. So Bremer is not in the predicted lineup, Thomas, for Juventus. But let me just have a look at my other sources for you there. No, Bremer is not going to play. So according to La Gazzetta dello Sport, which have 1.7 million followers, and also Forza Juventus, who have 80k. So usually when you get a medium-sized account sharing a big-sized account who are obsessed with that team, it's usually pretty solid. So yeah, it doesn't look like Bremer's going to play. So he's probably going to have to go. Top 3 midfielders this week apart from Vinny. That is a really good question. I've not been asked that yet. So if I had to order my top 3 midfielders this week, and it wasn't Vinny, I would probably say you know who I would say number 1? I think Barnes. I think Barnes is outside of Vinny. If you don't have Barnes, I think you're missing out. Because Barnes only played 30 minutes of Manchester City, so you would expect him to play a really good amount of minutes, by the way. So not just like a half, like Lookman or someone like that, or Sorloff or someone like that. You know, he's going to play. I think he's going to play like 70 to 80 minutes. I think the first players will probably get subbed to the likes of Osler, Walter Marder, and stuff like that. You know, players who play regularly. Hiya, Gaddy. Good to have you here. You've missed a lot of the stream, though. Not gonna lie. Saying that, everyone's been busy, haven't they? It's an early deadline, though, isn't it? You know, when it's a 4:45 deadline, it starts. So the stream started at 3:45, which is quite early, isn't it, in the day? You know, a lot of people are kind of doing other stuff. Let me get rid of that odds because I've showed you that odds for quite a while now. In fact I've been actually looking at my team, so that's not good. I think Barnes is probably so. Burn will play. Burn is in every predicted lineup that I've seen. He can play left back, centre back. Yeah, I thought so, Gaddy. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it. I'm sure we'll have the 8 o'clock streams back soon. I'm pretty sure the draw actually for the quarter semi-finals. Sorry, the last 16 and stuff is Friday, isn't it? Potentially. I love Barnes this week, by the way. He's likely going to be my transfer in. In fact, I was stuck between Barnes and Lookman for quite a while. And seeing Lookman not on the team sheet has made my decision a lot easier. I would say Schick is better. Schick is on pens. We know he's going to start because he only featured last time out. He was rested last time out, actually. Thuram could have come off really early. Would you take Lookman out for Barnes? I mean, if you've got the... Firstly, I just want to say that I think if I had Lookman and McKennie, I would sell McKennie. Even though I knew McKennie was starting at potentially wing back and Lookman probably coming on at half time. He's a very good impact player, Lookman. Probably one of the best in... I would probably go as far as saying that Lookman is one of the best midfield attackers or wings, whatever you want to call it, off the bench in Europe, I would say. So if it was a straight shootout between McKennie and Lookman, I would probably keep Lookman and sell McKennie. But if you don't have Lookman, then I would probably sell Lookman to Barnes. Sorry, if you don't have McKennie, I would sell Lookman to Barnes. Yeah, Alvarez versus Schick is so tough. It's so tough. I like both of them a lot. Probably Alvarez more, slightly. Because Alvarez is probably going to stay on right till the end. If I tell you what, if I own Bastoni and if I own Bastoni and Sommer, I don't think I'd want triple defense. Quite an awkward position to be in, that, isn't it? Because obviously, you know, DiMarco feels essential at times. It feels essential this week. Although I did say he wasn't essential, it kind of feels like you want him this week. But if I already had a double into defense, I would probably buy Burn. Gordon is going to stay in. I think if you're highly ranked, or you know, if you're highly ranked, you're in a different position. If you're So basically, I am too. So I'll explain it from my perspective. So I am basically 200th in the world currently. So that basically means that everyone around me is going to have Gordon. Some might even captain him, even taking into account rotation. So his ownership is going to be absolutely sky high. Now, if he starts and he bangs, then people ranked highly are in serious trouble, like massive trouble. But if he doesn't play, it's not really a major issue, is it? Because you can just take him out and put a Wednesday player in. It's good that Gordon actually plays on the Tuesday. I will say that. If he played on the Wednesday, it's obviously a bit more trickier, isn't it? Cap strategy. Haven't looked at captaincy just yet. Captain Grimaldo. I tell you what though, I do like Grimaldo's captain. I know I mentioned at the start of the stream that Grimaldo has only provisionally got captaincy, but he's a good shout. I want to talk about captaincy shortly, because it's really important that we look at the whole Mbappe situation. When you're looking at captaincy this week, you have to factor in Mbappe on the second day. So guys, there's quite a few of you in the stream at the moment. If you could please hit that like button, but more importantly, hit subscribe. If you're new around here, then definitely hit that subscribe button. You will get match daily live streams, match daily team selection videos, some FBL bits as well. So yeah, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm probably not going to hit 900 subs. I think if you listened to my last stream, you would have heard that my target for the end of February was 800 subs, and we are now at 853 subs. So obviously we've surpassed that, which I'm really grateful for. Really appreciate those who have subbed. So yeah, please, if you haven't subbed already, it takes 2 seconds. Please hit that subscribe button. Also helps you keeps you guys up to date with my videos and streams too. What else have we got? Would you prioritize McKennie to Barnes or selling Hall for a second into defender? No, if you've already got DeMarco, then you're in a good place. I think sell McKennie to Barnes. Hope this Hall starts. I think Barnes is important this week. It's important. He's important because he's a very good finisher. And a lot of people see Barnes as kind of not a very good player, or, just another winger. But as well as, what I will say is, not only is he a good finisher, but he's also very effective as well, because he's only started 6 Champions League matches, but he still managed to score 5 goals and create 6 assists. 5 goals and 2 assists. So that's 7 attacking returns in 9 features. That is very good. Very good. So I think Barnes is probably the standout this week in midfield. I did rank him highly. Benzema to DeMarco. Yeah, no, I don't hate that, to be fair. Well, we don't know if that makes me nervous selling. We don't know if Gordon's not going to play. Even if he doesn't start, he could feature. It's his birthday, Champions League, he's done well. Will Osimhen play? He'll start, but I'm not keen on his minutes. I also don't think Galatasaray will do anywhere near as well as they did away from home. But should we provisionally lock in my transfer plans? Because I know a lot of people are probably getting a little bit fed up. We are finishing the stream early as well, at past today. If you are new, it usually is past. It gives me time to make sure my transfers have actually been completed. So I'm not going to be selling Gordon this week to protect rank. Honestly, So I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys can't see this filter. It's fine. It doesn't really matter because I'm looking for Gordon, basically. I'm just looking for Gordon. The filters aren't clearing that well, though. So, no, I'm not looking for Gordon. I'm looking for Barnes. So Barnes is provisionally in there. Obviously, I don't want to overload myself with Newcastle players. So I think in terms of defence, it does naturally make sense. And because I don't obviously have DeMarco, it does. Doesn't like all this moving around the stream. It's saying there's an error. So I'm not too sure how. Excuse me. So they would be my current transfer plans. I'm not going to confirm that yet. We may or may not get news closer to the time. So with captaincy, let's just leave that there for a second. So we're going to leave DeMarco there. We're going to leave Barnes there. I'm going to have to make my transfers in about 5 minutes, though. I'm going to have to make my transfers slightly early, aren't I? I don't mind captaincy on Barnes. I think he's a good punt. Right, so let me just... Murphy is predicted to start. Trippier or Hall to DeMarco. None of them are predicted to start, Trippier or Hall. So I like Barnes. I like Barnes the most. Let me just have a look at captaincy now because this is going to be really, really important. So if we just take a look at the fixtures now, and this is important for captaincy. So we're here, obviously. We need a very big score here. Because if we don't get a big score, if we get a mediocre score is... A mediocre score is 8. A mediocre score is probably around 8 to 11 points. 8 to 12 points. And that is a mediocre score. There is a huge risk that if you captain someone here and get 10, 11 points, you're going to stick with that. Then you are then up against these guys. And you don't want to be up against Mbappe. So I am fully supporting wild punts here. The puntier the better. I think Grimaldo probably the best option there. I think DeMarco probably the best option there. I think Barnes the best option there, and I would say Alvarez. So Alvarez, Grimaldo, DeMarco, Barnes. Okay. So in terms of pans, yes, Alvarez is on pans, but like Alvarez is not a massive pun, is he? He's probably gonna get a solid score. He's gonna score or do something. Is he gonna like pick up a massive haul? Maybe. But are you more likely to get a haul from, say, Grimaldo, DeMarco, or Barnes? Yes, I think so. You've got two of the most attacking defenders in Europe, by the way, who are also in form. And you've also got Barnes, who playing a weaker side. Yes, he hasn't got penalties, but he's still very impactful when he plays. So captaincy, I think, personally, should be Grimaldo, DeMarco, or Barnes this week. Kenny or Yildiz or Barnes instead of Lookman. Well, I like Grimaldo. I've got something at the moment. Like Grimaldo. Specs off for a sec. Kenny or Yildiz or Barnes. Well, Yildiz might not be fit, so not him. McKennie might be playing at wing back, so definitely not him. Barnes is the obvious choice there. Barnes is the obvious choice. Captaincy we've just gone through. Kylian and Mbappe had to interrupt his training session due to his left knee is not at 100%. Whip. Thank you for that, Jack. We know what Mbappe's like though, don't we? It does slightly affect his minutes though, doesn't it? Yeah, I've just seen that. Madrid extra. Kylian Mbappe had to interrupt his training. He's not 100%. He'll be fine, won't he? He's going to be fine, isn't he? Let me just check for any more news because I'm about to lock in transfers. I'm going to lock in transfers, order the team, and then we'll quickly look at captaincy. So let me just switch over to, again, while we're doing this, please hit subscribe, please hit like, please hit subscribe, all of that stuff, all of that jazz. I think I'm really happy with these transfers. Let me just double check because you just never know, do you? You never know with these Newcastle guys. Yeah, I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to lock DeMarco and Barnes in. Thankfully, I've got the budget for it. So just confirming the transfers there. We are then going to see an image of you've got kind of not a very good image there, have you, of my team? Let's straighten that out for you guys. That's good, isn't it? We'll lock that there for a second. We will be stopping shortly, of course. Just make sure as well, and this is something that I always do, please make sure you have got your players playing on the 25th, so set your filters to date. Please make sure that all of your 24th of Feb players are on. It's annoying how the filter changes from that, isn't it? Yeah, so please make sure you are swapping out your 25th players. Who can go on the bench there? Probably the worst. Who's the worst player out of these lot? Continue, probably. So yeah, all the PSG guys and the Dortmund goalkeeper on the bench there. Is that good? I don't know how good that is for you guys. Oh Jesus. So it's a bit of my OCD kicking in there. Yeah, so that is my team. That is my team currently. I'm slightly tempted by Barnes' captaincy, I'm not going to lie, because I think minutes-wise, he's great. I think that, of course, he's going to play 60 to 70 minutes. I would love to captain Gordon, but we don't know he's going to play. What do you think of a -4 to change Osman? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't mind a -4 if you're going for a Barnes or a striker, because because I really think that the strikers could haul this week. I would chuck a lot of them into that category: Barnes, Mbappe, Alvarez, Trippier, Benz for DeMarco, or Pope. Don't trade your goalkeepers; just no point. Go for the DeMarco move. Burn or Hall? Definitely Burn. Hall's not even predicted to play. Burn was basically playing as a striker, I think, last match. So I don't like the selling Gordon to Barnes for a -4. Hi, Kuka. Yeah, so my moves were basically TR was obviously gone for DeMarco, and McKennie has gone because I don't want a wing back. The only wing back I want is DeMarco and Grimaldo. Okay, guys. I think that's it. Any more questions before we go? Between Ho and McKennie, who would you move out? I would move McKennie out. Trippier or Benz, DeMarco. Sal Trippier, he won't play. Benz should play. I think we're going to leave it there, guys. I think that we've gone through a lot today. We've gone through predicted lineups. We've gone through quite a lot of stuff. I really do. Hang on, who was playing today? Actually, I don't even know who's playing today. I think Barnes is going to be captain. That is going to be fun, isn't it? Fun captaincy, Barnes. Do you recommend getting a -4 to get Vinny Jr. for Vanaken? Maybe if you're going to captain him. Someone. Good moves. Good moves, Ramsey. Yeah, so just quickly before we go, guys, can you please hit that subscribe button? Thank you, Simon. Yeah, I enjoy these streams too, to be honest. I really do like talking to all of you guys, and a lot of you guys I recognise as well. Who keep turning up to the stream. So again, it's like our own little community here, isn't it? Our own little UCL community. Lookman to Barnes for -4. Who I cap +1 get -4, and I change to Osman. There's loads of good captaincy options this week. First time watching Antonio. Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Lookman to Barnes for -4. That's a tough one. I'd be tempted to do that. I'm not going to lie, especially if I was going to captain. I think because I'm captaining Barnes. I don't think I'll change. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate all you guys turning up yet again. Please hit the subscribe button. How many subs are we on now? By the way. Oh, we're up to 861. That's quite good. Not quite the 900, but I didn't expect us to get to that. It's a big ask. Really do appreciate all of those who keep joining, especially the regulars, those the new guys as well. You'll get a live stream pretty much every round now. So yeah, keep joining the stream, guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, and I've got another couple of questions just as I was about to go. I have only 5 players for today: Pope, Gordon, and Shaw, Burn, Patrick, Howe, Grimaldo. What should I do? Don't have any other issues? If you don't have any issues, then I will probably sell Howe. I think Barnes is a better option this week. Thank you, Imran. Thanks for joining. Could I get a -4 instead of changing Osman? I think you could take a -4 for Osman, maybe. I would probably keep him though, you know. I would just keep him. He's on pens as well, right? He's probably going to start. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, guys. I really appreciate all your time. I probably need to get down in front of the tally now. And well, watch the game. It's going to be an exciting one, isn't it? I've got Alvarez, obviously. I'm really happy with Alvarez for that first game. Don't really need anyone else. I will definitely be hiding behind the sofa, though, for when Lookman comes on. He will come on. He's going to come on. I like Grimaldo captain. If I wasn't captaining Barnes this week, I would captain Grimaldo. I'm not going to captain DeMarco, though, because I have the double up already. DeMarco or Barnes captain. It depends if you're doubled up. If you're doubled up on the inter-defence, I would probably not go DeMarco captain. I would probably go for Barnes. You can see that I'm going for Barnes as well. Even if I had one inter-player, I would probably still go for Barnes. You need a massive haul before Mbappe plays. Mbappe isn't injured. He's just not 100%. We hear this a lot. You know, he's not 100%, and then he comes on, and then he scores. So, yeah. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Really do appreciate all of your support over the past few weeks as well. Especially those who have, you know, who keep turning up to these. So, again, really, really thankful for your support. Grimaldo captain, Barnes captain, both good options. I'm going Barnes captain. I'll see you guys again soon.